Ferrari just unveiled the Luce, and this is not the Ferrari you grew up dreaming about. It is something entirely different, and depending on who you are, that might be exactly the point. Let's start with the name behind it. The exterior and interior of the Luce were designed by Love From, the creative studio founded by Jony Ive after he left Apple in 2019. Yes, the man who gave us the iMac, the iPhone, and the iPod has now designed a Ferrari. And his partner on this, Mark Newson, is no stranger to car design either. He did a concept for Ford back in 1999, and if you look closely, the Luce shares some DNA with that old project, particularly in how the doors open. The rear passengers get what are called suicide doors, hinged at the back rather than the front. There's even a button that swings them shut for you. Very dramatic, very red carpet, very not a traditional Ferrari. Because this is not a traditional Ferrari in almost any sense. It is an SUV-sized, 4-door, 5-seat electric vehicle. Ferrari's Purosangue was technically the brand's first 4-door car, but the Luce goes further by seating 5 people, which has never happened with a prancing horse on the hood before. The back seat is described as genuinely roomy, and it even has its own little control pad back there with the same distinctive knobs and dials as the front. If you're enjoying this breakdown, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, because there's a lot more to unpack here. The performance figures are predictably absurd. 1,035 horsepower delivered through 4 electric motors, one at each wheel. That kind of individual wheel control means the car can push power to the outside wheels during cornering for more aggressive turn-in, and it can manage wheel spin with a level of precision that traditional setups simply cannot match. There's also 4-wheel steering, so the rear wheels can turn in the same direction as the fronts for stability, or against them for sharper agility. Ferrari's active suspension system can even lower the car by 10 millimeters at highway speed, which tops out at 193 miles per hour. The battery is a 122 kilowatt-hour unit mounted low in the chassis. It charges at up to 350 kilowatts, and Ferrari claims around 329 miles of range on the European WLTP cycle. That'll likely translate to somewhere under 300 miles in the United States under EPA testing, which is respectable but not class-leading. Now, there's one element of this car that might surprise you, and it's something Ferrari clearly thought long and hard about: sound. Electric vehicles, by nature, are almost completely silent, and for most brands, that's fine. But Ferrari has always sold on sound as much as anything else. The roar of a V8 or a flat 12 is part of what you're paying for. So what do you do when there's no combustion engine? Ferrari's answer is not to fake it. Rather than generating a fully synthetic sound, the Luce has an acoustic pickup mounted on the rear axle that samples the actual vibrations from the electric motors. That signal is then amplified and shaped into a note that's distinctly Ferrari, without pretending to be a gasoline engine. The company compares it to plugging an electric guitar into an amp. It's a new sound for a new era, and from what's been described, it actually sounds like it works. The software, however, is not quite there yet. On the pre-production model shown to press, the touchscreen controls were largely non-functional. The drive modes, seat ventilation, even the little stopwatch in the corner, none of it did anything. That's expected at this stage, and the hardware itself felt genuinely impressive, but it's worth noting there's still work to be done before this thing ships. Ferrari's chief marketing officer framed the Luce as an opportunity to, in his words, enlarge the Ferrari community, which is a diplomatic way of saying this car is not for the existing Ferrari faithful. It's for people who want a Ferrari but need 5 seats, need electric range, and want a Jony Ive interior wrapped around them when they drive. And none of that comes cheap. In Italy, the Luce starts at 550,000 euros. US pricing hasn't been announced, but based on that number, it will almost certainly land above the Purosangue, which already costs around $430,000. That makes it Ferrari's most expensive production model to date.
Whether it's worth it, whether it actually drives like a Ferrari, and whether buyers who've never touched the brand before will come running, those questions don't have answers yet. But as a statement of intent, it's impossible to ignore.